Hi, my name is Kaylee Regent, and today for my Judicial Rhetoric speech, I will be discussing why social media is not a credible source. So when was the last time you consumed a piece of media about culture? Was it through Instagram, TikTok, maybe a documentary on Netflix, or an article from the New York Times? Well, today I want to discuss why social media is not as effective for the spread of cultural information as much as traditional forms of journalism are. To see why that is, we have to take a deeper look at how social media and these traditional forms of journalism share their information to others and what gets lost in translation. So before the age of social media, people typically learned their information through news on TV or radio broadcasts or published journals, typically all of which go through editors and fact checkers to ensure that the information they are putting out is accurate and can be trusted by their audiences. So to compare, social media is a fast-paced popularity contest where people are putting out content as fast as they can to get views, likes, followers in order to become an influencer possibly, or just for their own satisfaction, not always to help people learn. This makes the information that these influencers or creators on social media are putting out, make it seem like culture is more of a trend than maybe a part of somebody's identity or what somebody is actually living through in real life. So why does this make social media less effective in sharing cultural information? Social media turns culture into quick fads or trends. For example, maybe there's a trend currently on TikTok where people are trying a certain food from a culture, or there's a certain dance that's trending. These typically go viral without any context or background information on the culture that they come from. And oftentimes the info that is shared or may be shared about these cultures, it is often inaccurate on social media because of that lack of fact checking that traditional journalism has. Social media creators put out content faster than news outlets can correct it. In 2022, Pew Research Center found that more than half of the adults in the United States get their news information from social media, and most of those adults don't even trust the information that they are getting from social media. So this compares to traditional journalism because traditional journalism is slower to put out their material. That is because of the thorough research that goes into writing and learning about culture to inform others, and also the fact checkers and editors because they want to be a credible source, something that social media lacks in. But besides accuracy, traditional journalism also ensures that there is a respect and understanding for the culture that they are teaching about. Oftentimes, traditional news outlets include anecdotes and emotional stories about the cultures that they are informing people about, whereas on social media, they often include photos or short clips without any background context. Now, these anecdotes from news outlets often help viewers connect and understand culture. So this helps kind of not be like social media, because social media makes it a trend, doesn't give that background information, doesn't give that emotional connection, which is ultimately what helps us learn about these cultures. So in that way, traditional journalism is doing it in a more effective way. And while some may say that social media is a way for people to share their own stories and get their own voice heard, I would say that this is typically less effective than maybe a professional interview with a journalist. This is because social media often hides smaller creators and promotes those who are already popular, who already have a lot of followers, and who already get a lot of views. So it will be harder for a smaller creator to get their voice heard, rather than, maybe if they have the opportunity to talk to a journalist, a writer, that will be more likely to get their voice heard. Now, Others may think that social media may help people reach larger audiences. And while I think this can be true, it does so in more of a shallow and meaningless way, because it makes culture seem as though it is a form of entertainment rather than something that is a part of someone's identity and that is a part of their everyday life. So I really think that it does that in a shallow way, whereas in the news, it has the sole purpose of informing people, where social media, it could just be for popularity. So overall, even though social media may be more popular than ever, it's not nearly as effective for spreading cultural information as traditional media. Social media is often shallow and done for popularity, which makes it not a credible source and not something that you should trust and get your information from. So the next time you're looking to learn something new, maybe about culture, maybe just about news or politics in general, I would recommend supporting a journalist rather than trusting an influencer or a random creator online that has no background in research or doesn't necessarily know anything about what they're talking about. So I would recommend supporting a journalist. Thank you.